that the state has admitted as 38NN into evidence. Okay, Mr. Stillwell's not in this photo, correct?
All right.
All right. Now, I see you wearing a hoodie, and a pair of shorts that say "Slat" and "Keep America Slime," and it has "Make." I think it has "Make" crossed out, and it says "Keep America Slime." Is this?
Viral news source. Viral news source.